Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by Mana Traders, as well as Twitch subs and Patreon supporters just like you. My name is Evan Irwin, and get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Power Dragon.
What's up, everybody? And after the slew of all the previews and cards, we are still in one piece, so good to be here.
The internet's Ruben Bresler.
Hey, everybody, I'm also here. Yeah, I mean, a pretty sizable amount of news for what I thought was going to be a pretty off week because we had our set release, but here we are.
Yeah, and I guess we can kind of start there before we get into the weekend and more Spider-Man stuff and even more Avatar stuff. But the EOE preview stream was last week. Got to play in that. That was super fun. Got to play some limited. Got to play some sealed and whatnot yesterday and some drafts and whatnot. Just like one or two in so far. I think the set is really cool. I think it's rad. I think it plays really well. It's just one of those things where it's tough because it's like we just Final Fantasied like just the other day, you know what I mean? Like it feels like I was cracking the the -9999 card just the other day, and now it's like nope, we're in spaceships now, and I'm like okay, and they're like whoa, what's with the Spider-Man card? It's going to be Spooter Jace, but we can't tell you what that means yet, and we're like oh okay, thanks God. I mean, you talk about just drinking from the fire hose. That's where we're at.
Yeah, it's tough because we kind of saw this coming, right? That we got this set smash between two huge properties of Universes Beyond. So it's sadly only going to get so much time. And ultimately, it probably only gets about 4 to 5 weeks to be the set. And then we're going to be full bore into talking about Spider-Man. And then it launches 2 weeks after that. So it's tough, but at least it's a cool set. It's well built. It plays well. There's lots of useful cards I think people are still discovering because the cards work so differently than a lot of other stuff. So that's kind of fun. So we'll have this like weird month of discovery. And I guess when we get close to solving it, it'll be time for something else. So, we'll see.
Yeah, the set feels, and I talked a little bit about this last week. The set feels different enough from other Magic sets that I feel like it will be noteworthy many years on. Warp is so different of an ability. From anything we've ever seen. And I think that it just and Station is an ability that is that makes play patterns way different than we've ever seen. And I think that it's such a unique experience to have a game that can change and shift so much. And so we're lucky to have Magic and that the designers are able to reimagine the way the game can and should be played. And that's really cool. And I love that we're able to have that, and then we only get like 5 minutes with it. So you sort of got both halves.
Yeah. And to all the people saying like, well, Station's stupid and it's too slow. And you're like, I'm seeing things get stationed regularly.
Sure.
Like it's not that difficult to do. It's really not.
Very powerful and limited. I can only imagine so far in Constructed. I haven't played Constructed yet, but like it's terrific and limited. I love all the station and the spaceships and stuff, and the cards that work with them are really cool. And I think that's great. And, I just feel like yesterday we were just there with Cloud and Sephiroth and we'd waited 5 years. They waited 5 years. They made the most stupid amounts of money on this thing. And then they were just like, okay, cool. Now we're doing something totally different. And now before even the totally different thing is out, we're telling you about something totally different of a different gigantic property. And it's like, man, could we not do this little tiny window next time when they do this set release thing? Because I think it's kind of miserable.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, I'm at this point, like accepting that we're just going to have, 5-6 sets a year, whatever. That's fine. But at least give us a clean, like 8 weeks. I'm like, that's just give it a 2-month window and then do whatever you want to do. Like anything less than that feels like we don't get enough time with the set. It feels like.
I just feel like from the unbelievable amount of effort for Final Fantasy, and we know it, and we heard it, and I've talked to people in Tournament Wizards, man, they sweat tears over that set. It was crazy, and they finally got it, and it was awesome, and it was cool, and the promo cards were sweet, and everything was neat, and then we're already past it, and I'm just like, why? Like, okay, it'll be fine. It'll still sell throughout the years. They're gonna reprint it plenty of times. It's just, man, talk about the whiplash. So. That said, we did get to see some Spider-Man cards. I think one interesting thing about the Spider-Man cards that I've noticed so far is that I'm guessing there is a very concerted effort to make cards that are the same names between the Spider-Man set and the online set. Like there's a card called like Taxi Driver or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% not changing names. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's just not happening. And so,
sure.
Yeah, but like who's
the legends are all going to have to get their names changed.
Right.
But.
Like someone who's going to be Peter Parker, right? Like, is that, I don't think it's going to be a Planeswalker. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be a legendary dude who becomes a spider or something. Maybe they'll make it Innistrad based or something? Question mark. I don't know.
One of the things I will say about this that was a little weird was how many people are like, oh, this set's super weak and there's no reason for anybody to buy this. And they were eventually going to bomb and whatever. And it's like, a lot of the cards we saw at first were from like the starter decks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the little beginner packs. And I was like,
half of those cards are not even real.
Yeah. And I was like, it was weird. But I also get how when we're in this just communication cycle that's constant, people just go, well, they came from an official thing. They're real Magic cards. That set must suck, you know, instead of taking the time to go like, if you see this many cards that look like they're overcosted or kind of slow, there's probably a reason. We also don't get a lot of like commons and uncommons that early. So it's like, that should have been your tip off as well. So it's like, I don't know. But overall, I mean, it looks fun. I will say that has a lot of flavor.
These comic book cover version cards.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just I couldn't. Why we cannot have this digitally? It's how I play now. You know, I'm an older man now. I want to just play on my computer and
I know.
They just give me the Spider-Man on the arenas because it's really cool. Like Peter Porker has like every creature type you can imagine here.
I think 18 was the number.
Yeah, it's something like it's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. These cards seem rad so far, but you know, at this point, it's tough because Wizards has operated at such a high level for so many years. I mean, I've been writing about it for 20 years and they've only gotten better. So we've gone to this kind of plateau, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean, there's a plateau of just a floor of quality that we just don't go below like a 7.5 out of 10 anymore. Like we just don't. Like I don't even really see it anymore. Like,
you know what?
Yeah, which is great.
The crazy thing I explained to people a couple of years ago was thinking about in the entire history of Magic, we've had what, like 2 sets deliver late?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that's crazy. You're talking over 30 years. There's video game companies that have 5 years where they work on a game and still have to push the release date back for like 9 months or whatever, right? And we're just getting, hell, like this year, we're getting 6 sets or whatever, and they've all delivered on time. Now, every once in a while, they might have a thing that like, hey, this market's going to get this, you know, their commander decks next week or whatever, you know.
Every once in a while. But
the fact that they're hitting their dates with this high of quality is kind of insane.
I think what COVID delayed Ikoria, I believe it was, and maybe one other thing, but we're talking like between Wizards and Pokemon, you just don't see that consistency. You don't have them announce things a year out and they hit their date exactly. Like that just don't happen in any other industry that makes this type of entertainment. GTA 6, when the hell is that coming out again?
Yeah, that makes COVID doubly crazy. Yeah, when you think about it, right?
Yeah. It's the only thing could stop them, you know, from hitting that regular release date. And even then, it was close, if I recall. It's like
it was only like a week later or something.
It wasn't that far. And even, you know, when we had to do the drive pickup thing, and it was a whole stuff and pre-release at home and all that craziness, it was nuts. All right, but let's move into the weekend here. Ruben, how was your San Diego Comic-Con experience?
It was really nice. I was not planning on having a Magic-centric experience at San Diego Comic-Con. In fact, I was planning on being away from Magic until I arrived Wednesday night. And there were videos from Brian and Olivia and the professor that were like, hey, join us at the Spider-Man activation at the Hard Rock in the Gaslamp District, right by the sign, like right in the middle of stuff. And then there was another video that was like, check out the Magic activation over at Petco Park, where we have an Avatar exclusive card. And it's like, where did this all come from? Like, I didn't see any of that previous to literally Wednesday. So I didn't really go out of my way to like try to get into any of those. I stopped by the Petco Park thing and stood in line for like 15 minutes before I was like, this is no way. I'm not getting this thing. So yeah, it was cool. And it like the hype was there. Like people were at the Hasbro booth, really excited about Magic stuff on the floor, much less people talking about it and it being part of the conversation, which it's been a minute since Magic has been a part of the main conversation, like the central story of Comic-Con. And alongside the Fantastic Four and Superman and K-Pop Demon Hunters and cartoon animation domination stuff, Magic the Gathering was right there, and that's pretty unique.
Yeah, I think we forget sometimes, because we're so kind of just surrounded by it, of how much familiarity in the nerd community Magic has. Even among people who don't play regularly,
yeah,
they all know of it. They have a friend or a cousin or brother, whoever, who's played it. So it doesn't really surprise me. If anything, this kind of points toward the direction of Wizards, or maybe Hasbro, but Wizards for sure, saying, hey, we need to be more involved in the pop culture area, right? If we're going to do these universes beyond, like they're doing the crossover with action figures.
Right.
Right. You're going to be able to get Magic cards with your Spider-Man figures now, which is crazy.
That's brilliant. So,
look, so why not?
It's funny. Like it's weird because I know there's some things that they could never universes beyond. Like you can't do Grand Theft Auto and Magic because there's no guns and Magic, right? So if there's no guns and Magic, you Grand Theft Auto and Magic. I mean, but it's a whole thing. But either way,
to be fair, just the theming of Grand Theft Auto was a little tough.
Oh yeah, sure. I sacrificed my hooker. All right, so. Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things that was brought up on the Blogatog for Rosewater was Universes Beyond. Everyone likes to bring it up, and he's like, "Look, the players who are brought in by Universes Beyond have a healthy transition rate. They keep playing in multiverse sets. Influx of new players from Universes Beyond is ridiculous, as well as getting lapsed players, people who already know how to ride the bike, but they're like, oh snap, Fallout! I can play Fallout with my Magic, and all the data says Universes Beyond is having a very healthy impact." Look, I'm a guy who advocated it for years and years and years. I love that it's happening. I think it's great. Magic is a game system. It's not just Magic with a Johnny and Jace.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing here. And that's what's going to make Magic last for 100 years, not just 32. Like, it's going to keep going.
If you've been to any events lately, like you see the effects. Like you talk to people and the number of folks that say, oh, I started playing because of Doctor Who. I started playing because of Fallout or whatever. But now they've got 15 decks. They're not only buying that product, like they're in deep after getting their favorite commander or whatever. Yeah. So it's working. I mean, we may not like it, but it's working. It is what it is.
Yeah, all the Magic items sold out at the Hasbro booth. Their big Spider-Man panel had to turn away hundreds of people. The pre-release packs of Edge of Eternities sold out within half an hour every single day. These things are not slowing down.
Yeah,
and we'll get more into that here as we move on.
One of the things I try to explain to people that say that Universes Beyond is just a money grab and whatever, I said, people don't even realize we've been doing Universes Beyond related stuff for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like this isn't 5 years is longer than most games live. Yeah, seriously. So this isn't just a money grab at this point. This is part of the business.
For sure.
Like whether we like it or not, it is literally making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hell, we'll get to that later. We're going to talk about it.
Let's get to it. All right,
so much money.
Let's move on here from the first pick into Gather the Townsfolk. We're talking about community issues. Thanks to our sponsor, Mana Traders. The best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MagicMikes_VG8. That's video game 8 for 10% off your next subscription with Mana Traders. Tell them we sent you. We appreciate them supporting the show. As we move on here to Gather the Townsfolk, where Hasbro earnings report came out, and mother of God, did they make some money. They made all of the money. The revenue for Magic grew 23% by the release of Final Fantasy. They made $200 million on day one. That was the best-selling set before it even came out. They could not make enough. They could not sell enough. They're still printing it and they're still selling it. And that's why I was going a little nuts earlier about man, can we have our Final Fantasy time? Can we just stay here and love it and enjoy it just for maybe a couple more weeks? But nope, the train keeps moving and off we go to Spider-Man.
Yeah. To be fair, Tarkir gets a little bit of credit for Q2 as well. We don't want to just completely lay it out. That sold out too, which is also bonkers. But yeah, I think on Blogatog Live, I think it was Rosewater who said they had printed 4 times what the next biggest thing was they printed to have available on day one. So when people are talking about Wizards created this false scarcity or whatever, they literally printed what they could, and it wasn't enough. That's an insane statement to say, because that means they printed a couple million Magic cards, and we're just like, this will obviously get us through a couple months. Like, no, not even close.
No. It's crazy. And so, success is as success does. There was some interesting comments from Chris Cox, who was talking about the $200 million in one day and how he couldn't make enough and whatnot. They kind of hinted that, their Universes Beyond set up for the next couple of years. They're very happy with that, very confident in that, which I think is really rad. When things like, having a Sonic the Hedgehog product would be something that would take like half a year's worth of hype and attention and whatnot many, many years ago. Now it's like, it was just a secret layer. It happened and we're done. Let's go do something else. And it's like, okay, rad. So God knows where we're going. But clearly, if Spider-Man into Avatar into more Marvel sets is good, and whatever they have as planned is better, then strap in, everybody, because we're hitting the golden age of Universes Beyond stuff. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, and on top of that, next year we get to go back to Lorwyn, which people are already excited about, which isn't necessarily my jam, but there's a lot of people who are excited about it.
Right. I mean, it is my jam.
Yeah, and if that gets the reception that Tarkir got, I mean, you're going to have another sellout on your hands.
Yeah, the Play network of 9,000 stores is amazing. Play event tickets up 20% versus 2024. 19,000 badges plus sold for MagicCon Las Vegas from last year, for June 2025 this year, which is nuts. I mean, it's just killing it. I don't know. There's no other way to say it. Like, you kill for these numbers in this type of business, in a reporting their numbers. Even if Hasbro said, "Hey, we lost $1 billion." And what's called like goodwill. Basically, they overpaid for companies by up to $1 billion. And the accountants were like, we're just never getting that money back. And so they just have to write it off. So they would have made $200 million thanks to Magic if it had not been for that write-off. And wow, just crushing it. So, and
I think what you said is interesting because it's not even just this type of business. Their numbers are big for any type of business.
Right.
Like if they were a video game company, they would be one of the best-selling video game companies right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like now, that's how insane the numbers are.
Chris Cox said, quote, and I quote, "Don't be surprised if you see us poking into Romantasy. Don't be surprised if you see us looking at K-pop bands. Nothing is off the table," he said. And I think, first of all, I think that's brilliant. Don't put fences around this. If Magic is a game system and you can put what you want into that system, K-pop stars can have a couple secret layers. Go get your Blackpink, Magic cards or whatever, and your BTS Magic cards, and we keep playing and moving on.
Bro, you think some dudes wouldn't be gooning over a 5-card set of Blackpink? Like,
and think of like the special foil editions they could make or whatever. They could be your commanders, right?
Bro, you know they would. But here's the thing: we've done all types of stuff with the Universes Beyond, right? We've done movies, we've done pop culture stuff. We've done animated things. We've done video games. So it makes sense to say like, hey, we're just going to leave it open to everything at this point. Like so far, everything we've tried is sold.
How about this?
Why wouldn't we try other things?
I like this. Granada just dropped this just for a second. Just imagine an NFL set, an NBA set.
Oh, dude, give me a WWE set in a heartbeat. I'm buying 5.
A soccer set, for all those famous soccer players from around the world, right? Like, this can happen. It's not impossible. Like, it is doable. I don't know if much of sometimes it's sort of too USA centric, like the NBA and NFL, but if it's a secret layer release, whatever.
No, give me an Undertaker. Give me the New Day as
there's already an Undertaker. That's a card already.
yeah. I was like, for real, let's do it.
Like, WWE is easily done. They're already they're already comic book characters anyway.
Exactly.
We can get a day bound, night bound, the New Day.
Oh, that would be good. See? I'd be into that.
Yeah. You wrestling nerds, you'd love it. So look,
that's right.
All I'm saying is it's cool. I love it. I think it's brilliant. It's funny here, moving on to our next story here, of a update to the rules text of diplomatic relations. This is one of those classic, they should have included target your stuff, but it targets anything. The printed version reads, target creature is a green spell. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains vigilance until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Now, this was what, a 3-mana instant or whatever in green?
Yeah.
And it would have been, first of all, one of the most color pie breaking cards ever made.
Yeah.
Because what the hell is green doing with any of these abilities that aren't targeting its own creatures?
Sure.
But you could really obviously screw up your opponent's attack step if you had something going on like this. And I don't know. I think it's cute as like an idea, but I don't think it's really worth keeping that in just to have some weird color breaking card that will honestly being standard a little bit longer than it should be.
Yeah, I thought about that for a while. I was like, how bad would it be if it just stayed as it was? But then the more I thought about it, it's like, this would have been the removal card in so many decks that even just splash green. So it's like, yeah, it's good you errated it. We'd have been tired of this card in a month.
Yeah, for sure.
And people were like, "He wouldn't see play." I'm like, I don't know, man. It's such a
think
weird
it would.
card. I think it would have seen a little bit of play at the very least, just because it's so weird. You wouldn't see it coming from a green deck. You know, what are you doing? Anyway, now it says target creature you control. We're going to move on. They've obviously fixed it already in digital, and I'm sure if they ever reprint it, they'll fix it there too. That's a whole thing. Sorry, those who play Historic, you're not getting the sick, busted cards. Ancient Tomb, Strip Mine, and Magus of the Moon are all banned because that's where we're at. But 4X Strip Mine is currently legal in time.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's going to last, but sure.
Well, craft them now. The worst, you can get 3 back. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
At worst.
Fair point.
Worst, you get 3 back.
I mean, for Historic, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, they don't let silly stuff happen historically.
Yeah, that's a little too much, even for Historic. I can't really argue that.
I agree.
Land destruction is always like the line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does your format let that live? Okay. Does the people who play that format okay with that? You know, those are 2 important questions, and usually don't want it. All right, let's move on here to an interesting question here from Mark Rosewater, a poll that he had on his Tumblr. Now, look, at this point, based on online discourse, and everyone is unhappy in the Magic subreddit, and people are complaining on social media, and the numbers just keep going up, and the sales just keep breaking, and all this crap. I don't know if I believe literally anything about what this poll is saying, because it is asking the question, do you mind having Japanese cards in English packs? And I think Japanese cards in English packs are awesome, have always been cool and interesting and exciting and sexy. Now, maybe a little bit less so as they make the special things a little less special, but I think it looks cool and is super neat. And the idea that this poll largely says over half the people says they don't like it. Again, I just go to the scoreboard and I'm like, look.
Though, I will say from experience, having a retail store, when I go buy collections and people are looking for cards or whatever, it's non-English cards are hard to move.
You're right.
Yeah.
And people, especially when they're new to the game, get a card. They like it because it's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you get one of the foil ones and it's like $300-$400. They love that.
Yeah.
But they can't play with it. They sit at a table and they have to go and look it up to tell their friends at the table what the card does or whatever. And it's a hassle to the point that I don't even put non-English cards in any of my commander decks I plan to play at events for the very same reason. Because then I have to explain the thing and have to bring it up and show the people the
have
table.
A little piece of paper behind it that's what you're going to do anyway. And
so I could see a lot of, especially the most casual, average players, responding to saying I don't really like non-English cards in my packs that much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see it, but to me, there's a coolness factor there of it's just so interesting and different or whatever. I don't know. And again, this probably be more of a old school Magic player talking than the new school, because the new school would see Japanese cards, in their packs more than certainly old players did. Because back in the day, that was weird and wild and special, and
everybody wanted the Korean versions of whatever,
cards, right?
Yeah, Russian and Korean were the least
foils.
printed. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, but again, for me, it's just they're asking a question online, and it's almost always going to skew negative. You know what I mean? There's so much cynicism rather, and just people are just pissed off about everything, and they hate everything, and they don't like anything, and they're never can be sated.
Sure.
That just to me feels like the people who are paying attention to this and are yelling the loudest, the squeakiest wheels. When again, we're literally breaking every record possible, and they have Japanese packs in them, and they buy them just as fast as they ever.
Yeah. I mean, again, you want to open it because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But if I open one, I'm probably trading it or selling it. Because again, I know I'm just never going to play with it. It's just in the circles I'm in or the events I go to, it just doesn't make sense to have international cards. Now, I'm with you. I don't think it's, if we include the neutral responses in here, I don't think it's, 80% or whatever. I think that's a bit high. Right. It's probably closer to 45, 50% probably. But it is a very significant portion of the community that doesn't want non-English cards.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But let's move on here to an interesting update for Wizards employees here. earlier this week, Bill Rose retired. Bill Rose has had an unbelievable amount of influence on Magic. He worked on some of the very, very early sets. He's been in charge of Magic for most of the last 30 years, as I understand it.
Yeah.
He was Mark Rosewater's boss for a very, very long time, and honestly helped steer Magic into what it is today. And, you know, before there was the great change of leadership into Chris Cox changing for the old president, you know, even while they were within those, you know, sort of strict boundaries, so they couldn't do the crazy different stuff for the Universal Beyond stuff, they still pushed a lot of boundaries, did a bunch of new and different stuff, changed stuff up. I mean, all the way from all those promos back to Zendikar and everything thereafter, like all that stuff, Bill Rose was there. And so he's one of those influential guys, just like Eric Lauer, who, you know, retired recently, but are some of the, like, you know, Mount Rushmore Magic developers and creators.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's also been at Studio X since before Arena.
Oh yeah.
He was, you know, designing, you know, products and services for online clients and play since Duel Masters, if I recall. Much less the fact that he was like an original designer for like Revised. You know, like he goes back to Alpha. I'm pretty sure.
First designs, as I recall, is Memory Lapse. They took Memory Lapse from Mirage and they put it in Homelands because that set was dog crap and they needed something. So they took that. And so
there you go.
You know, there's a good example.
An interesting thing here is this is probably what we're just going to start seeing, right, from the old guard, because
sort of one by another.
People don't realize, like, Magic's been around a long time at this point, you know. So you're talking about a guy who's worked there for 30 years. Like basically the majority of his career was in that job, right, or in that building. So yeah, credit to him. And you know, when you're on the upper end and you're well paid, probably time to retire. You can go do whatever the hell you want after 30 years.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you want to enjoy enjoy those later years. And I mean, look, Mark Rosewater is 58 years old, y'all. Like, I obviously want him to be head designer forever and ever and always, but that's not, you know, a reality. And I think in about 10, 12 years, we really start to have that conversation. Are we handing off the baton here? And what does that mean? And what's the legacy there? And how does he kind of finish out his last design years? Like, that's going to be a whole thing.
Gavin, chop. You're up.
Exactly.
Man, come on, dog.
It'll be here before you know it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, you know, he's had an unbelievable run. So,
I mean, I assumed that Gavin is Lisan Al-Gaib, but I'm sure that there are also other people there who've been there for 25 years.
Oh yeah.
It's just that Gavin's the most natural fit for the archetype of Mark Rosewater, being sort of more public facing and a little bit goofy and you know, has led designs, but has the personality as well.
Yeah. So last little bit here, if you want to support the Foglios, Phil Foglio and his wife Kaja, you can check out the link right here. I'm putting it in the chat. It'll be in the show notes and whatnot. They're looking for a GoFundMe just to live. This is you know, it's rough right now. Sales have been rough. You know, prices ain't getting lower. They're trying to make their way back through things. Convention sales have been tough. You know, just trying to get on the world. If you can help them out, check it out.
I will say that they had a hell of a booth at Vegas that was busy the whole time. They have a really nice setup. So if you see them in Atlanta, where I hope that they will be, consider perhaps going their way.
There you go.
Yeah, and they're a tough one because there was a point where they were involved in almost every nerd project, it felt like their artwork was showing up everywhere in almost every major card game. And they had a book series, a comic thing that was going on. And I think over time, probably life stuff, but they got involved in fewer and fewer things. And I think a lot of the newcomers don't know of their art style or who they are, their impact or whatever. So hopefully this helps them out, maybe gets their name out there a little bit, gets people looking at their stuff again.
There you go. So, moving on here to Desperate Ravens. Ruben, tell us about the Command Zone Beyond the Edge of Eternities.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen this,
I don't know what it is at all. Please
continue watching this show. But as soon as we're done here, please go watch the Command Zone Beyond the Edge of Eternities. This is a Hollywood level production telling a half-hour-long story of a Jedi played by Jimmy Wong, a Starfleet officer played by Josh Lee Kwai, a droid of some origin and an alien of some origin, who've banded together to investigate a derelict ship that apparently runs on commander-centric energy. And it is a delight. And
it operates on magic cards.
And it operates on magic cards.
Hell
Spoiler
yeah.
alert. And there are cameos from some of your favorites, like the Professor and Kyle Hill and Brian Kibler. And Rachel Weeks plays the alien, and a bunch of people in the community were part of the production here. It's just an amazing thing, and I want to see more. I want more like this, please. So whatever we can do to get more like this.
One things I think they did really well is because the show itself, I think, is like 11 minutes or something. And then the second half is them showing, hey, this is all the effort we put in. These are all the people we had to talk to. This was like the script writer. This is the person who built the sets or whatever. Because I don't think the average person ever gets an understanding of, even for a small project, what goes into it. Because you always get the comments of like, oh, well, just go make this, or just, you should make another video, or you should do whatever. It's like, I don't think you understand. Like, when you see it, I mean, I seriously would not be surprised if they said that cost them a couple $100,000. Like, with the number of people involved and the expertise, because they got actual like Hollywood level people to come in and help them. And it shows. It's really cool. Even the lighting is just an explanation of how they did that for all the different sections and sets or whatever. It's really cool.
Yeah. So I've heard great things. So go check it out. I'm going to check it out after the show's over. The Command Zone Beyond the Edge of Eternities. Those guys make great stuff. So no doubt there. Before we move here to the finisher, I want to check out and talk about the some fan content that showed up on Reddit. Now, if you may or may not know, PBS and NPR got some serious funding slashed recently, which is awful and makes me sad. But a great idea showed up, and Lord knows Wizards has stepped in before to help great causes, and PBS rules. I grew up, with PBS and Sesame Street and, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and all that stuff, and I love that. And so, they came up with the idea of, what if you had Jim Henson Commander decks?
Yeah.
If you had the Dark Crystal one, you had the Rainbow Connection 5-color one for the Muppets, just another one for Sesame Street, one for Labyrinth, the Power of Voodoo. It's a black, blue, red deck. This would absolutely kill. All of the money goes to funding PBS. And can you imagine? I would 100% buy a Rainbow Connection deck to help my PBS station keep making the freaking Muppet stuff, making Sesame Street and so on. Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Can I get a Fraggle Rock one tossed in?
Oh,
there?
hell yeah.
Yeah, give me one of them.
Mono red, or like red green, because they had the compost monsters in the backyard. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, maybe even red, green, blue, because they were all about.
You could have dozers that could destroy lands because they eat all the little things. Like,
yeah. PBS. Also, we could do other PBS properties. We could get a Mr. Rogers group hug deck. Anybody? Can we get one of those? Maybe we could get Wishbone or Arthur. All of these PBS properties I grew up, if you're of a certain age, you grew up on, Sesame Street and Nova and Mr. Rogers and Reading Rainbow and the Muppets. And there's you're going to be hard pressed to find a bigger fan of the Muppets than me. I own a half dozen Muppet t-shirts. I've seen live Muppet shows several times in my life, much more when I was younger. I considered going into puppetry when I was in college.
Nice.
Because I love the Muppets so much. Multiple of my comedy icons are Muppets, but one of my main comedy icons is Gonzo the Great.
Oh, yeah.
Because his vibe is just it's perfect, right? And sorry, Fozzie, I can't, it's not my style exactly, but not exactly my tempo. But the Muppets are great, and I couldn't love this idea more. And I hope that just because it got posted to Reddit publicly doesn't mean that it won't one day happen. I would like for this to become a reality.
The one thing that did happen that was a positive is Netflix did sign a deal with Sesame Street on PBS. Okay. So PBS and PBS Kids, they can keep having new episodes of Sesame Street.
We're still getting some fun in that way, but that might not last forever. I mean,
it may not.
But it's great.
At least somebody came to the rescue for the short term.
I love it to death, but just the idea that you can take some of these properties from PBS. Like, for me, give me that MathNet secret layer.
Oh,
what I'm talking about. You're a real one.
Sure.
Because give me some 3-2-1 contact. Like, y'all, we'll dig deep.
Ghost Rider?
We'll dig deep. Oh, yes.
This is where we are, though, in politics.
Carmen Sandiego?
Definitely.
We're looking at Netflix as a good guy savior for something.
I know.
Hey, man.
Where we are right now.
Anything in my enemy or whatever. But, all right. So let's turn the corner here to the finisher. Now, Bresler, Dragon, get me pictures of Spider-Man. Now that's it. Now that it's been a whole 4 days since Edge of Eternities came out. Tell me what you're looking forward to most when your friendly neighborhood Magic set swings into your friendly neighborhood local game store, Ruben.
Yeah, it hasn't been enough time, but we did already see some of the new mechanics, but I'm hoping for a J. Jonah Jameson card that gives all of your spiders vigilance and menace, because he's a vigilante and a menace.
Fair.
Nice. Power Dragon?
We already have some perfect keywords in Magic that work for this, so I'm hoping to see a Punisher or a Daredevil card that says, whenever a creature an opponent controls commits a crime, detain that creature.
Or with the Punisher, just kill him. Just shoot him to death.
Sure.
If they're bad enough.
I mean, we've got access to detain. Let's use it.
Yep.
Look, I'm looking forward to a new counterspell that's called With Great Power Comes Great In Response Ability.
There you go. Nice. It's a good one.
I'm talking about. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Hey, it's always good to be here. Thanks for having me. And honestly, I'm going to get back more into playing with Edge of Eternities while we have it.
Yeah.
So good. It's good. Ruben, thanks
Yeah,
so much.
before we go too far into universes beyond, let's go to the edge of our universe. Let's be thankful for Warp and Lander tokens and Station for a little bit. See what it does to Standard and the older and the weirder formats in Commander before we get fully on board with the future stuff. I know we had Comic-Con and we've got Gen Con this coming weekend, I think.
Yep.
But let's be thankful for this wonderful gift that we've received that takes place in the Magic the Gathering universe.
All right. And with that, I want to turn the corner here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, Mana Traders, my co-host, Power Dragon, and Ruben Bresler. Viewers like you for watching or listening. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe. Do everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us on our exclusive member Discord. Subscribe to our Patreon. Watch us live on Twitch. Join us live or taped on our YouTube channel. Check out our TikTok. Follow us on Blue Sky. Or join us here next week. Same place, same time for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.